Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 17, text number 20 and 21. Praharanti na vai strishu kritaga swa api jantavaha kim utatvad vidarajan karunadina vatsalaha. The cow-shaped earth continued, "My dear king, I am just like a strong boat, and all the paraphernalia of the world is standing upon me. If you break me to pieces, how can you protect yourself and your subjects from drowning?" Purport. Beneath the entire planetary system is a Garbha water. Lord Vishnu lies on the Garbha water, and from his abdomen a lotus stem grows, and all the planets within the universe are floating in the air, being supported by the lotus stem. If a planet is destroyed, it must fall into the water of the Garbha. The earth therefore warned King Prithu that he could gain nothing by destroying her. Indeed, how would he protect himself and his citizens from drowning in the Garbha water? In other words, outer space may be compared to an ocean of air, and each and every planet is floating on it, just as a boat or an island floats on the ocean. Sometimes planets are called Dvipa or islands, and sometimes they are called boats. Thus, the cosmic manifestation is partially explained in this reference by the cow-shaped earth. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So, Mother Earth in the form of a cow, background is that Maharaj Prithu, after taking over as the emperor, all the subjects, citizens appeared before him, and they begged that they are all starving and there is no food grain on the earth, and suffering because of Mother Earth was not providing the necessities of life. So Maharaj Prithu immediately wanted to chastise Mother Earth, because Prithu Maharaj had all the powers of the Supreme Lord, because he was Shakti Avesha, incarnation of the Lord. All Shaktis of the Lord was with him. So he could do anything. So he became very angry with the Mother Earth, and Mother Earth immediately took the form of a cow, and initially she started running because Maharaj Prithu was chasing, and then at one point of time Mother Earth stopped and turned around, and a dialogue began between Mother Earth and Maharaj Prithu. And in this conversation, this is continuing here, He was Maharaj Prithu, even though he was the king, the emperor, the most powerful emperor. Still Mother Earth turned around and was practically questioning him that you are the knower of all religious principles. Why are you so anxious to kill a woman? Because she was in the Mother Earth took the form of a cow. And now this verse says, even if a woman does commit sinful activity, no one should place his hand upon her. This is the Vedic injunction. And what to speak of you, dear king, who is so merciful. You are a protector and you are affectionate to the poor. So this was the status we can make out from this. This was the status given in the Vedic society for a woman. Even if she commit sinful activities, one is not supposed to raise one's hand upon her. One should not beat a woman. It's considered to be a sinful activity being committed by a man if a woman is beaten. And here it is, she is citing the Vedic behavior of not only king, of any person, any man cannot place a hand on a woman. Such is the dignity and the position given to woman in the Vedic society. The Vedic society recognizes all the strengths and weaknesses of each of the genders, man, woman, and each of them are very unique in their contribution to the proper, healthy running of the society, for fulfillment of the objectives of human life, of dharma, artha and kama and moksha, spiritual elevation. For that purpose, every man, woman, further varnas, ashramas, all there, each of them are very uniquely set up by the Supreme Lord in the course of creation of this material world by Brahma. So every part of this existence, including a woman, has a big role. And because of the strengths and also weaknesses, they fit in a proper place in a society. Because of the weakness, emotional weakness, lack of emotional agility, the tendency of the woman is sometimes to get locked up and get stuck in one particular emotion, and no agility, cannot move out of it, cannot detach, cannot come out so easily. Man also has emotions, women also have emotions. So what happens when emotion always clouds the intelligence? Emotion clouds the intelligence. So they should not be exploited because of this emotional weakness. It is not about lack of emotions. In fact, women have more emotional than men. Women are more emotional than men. But these are realities. Artificially, we cannot say A is equal to B. Man is equal to woman in all aspects. So it's not about having more emotions or less emotions. It is about emotionally getting stuck up. There is emotion and the ease with which you move from one emotion to another. Detach from this, go to that. Detach from this, go to that. Emotion means you're stuck there. Then you detach and go to another emotion. That's called emotional agility. So for this, sometimes they make decisions which are highly emotional. So in certain context, they're called less intelligent. But they are not. In the normal intelligence, they are not, in the scale of their handling of emotions, they can make intellectual mistakes. They can get carried away. They can get cheated. They can get bewildered. Because these are all the things that covers the intelligence, clear thinking. A woman may be a CEO handling 1,000 employees, 5,000 employees. But when it comes to her home, some matters of attachment, husband, children, there she can get clouded, can get stuck up. So actually, psychologists have done this analysis and they have established that, and they use this word, emotional agility. How quickly you can move from one emotion to another, or one emotional situation to another emotional situation. If some near and dear one dies, a man may be able to forget very fast. But the woman will carry for so many years, cannot forget. So anyway, that is different. So, here it is said that even if the woman does commit sinful activity, no one should beat her. She should be advised, she should be protected, brought under protection. First of all, falling into sinful activity is due to lack of protection from either the husband or the eldest children, or from the father, or from the society as such. Always protection is to be given against exploiting their weaknesses by vested interest. So she is reminding Maharaj Prithu, please spare me, don't kill me. Then later on she says, it's not her mistake, why she is not giving grains. She tells her problems. So that also we discussed in the last class. How even with the authorities in our social system, if something is not seen to be understood by the authorities, just like Mother Earth approached Prithu, who wanted to punish her. So, it is not disrespectful to go to the authorities and explain your situation. This is a good example of that. And then, even a powerful person like Prithu Maharaj, he understood better from her point of view the problem. and then accordingly he spares her. He changes his mind. But initially he was angry and he wanted to attack. So very often, even in our management, in the situations, because management is about timely decisions. So in each decision, there is no time to go analyzing all the 360 degrees aspects of it. Decisions has to be given. Otherwise, things do not move. So while giving some decisions, even a well-meant, well-intended authority can say that somebody is wrong and try to take some action. Or in management, decisions are made based on judgment of the situation. So judgment of the situation, within a short time what he can assess, some decision will be given. But those who are affected by that decision, it is part of life. One has to approach the authority and say, this is my situation, okay. The authority also should listen, because authority also knows. Because with my limited analysis, limited thinking, limited input, I have taken this decision. Now new input is coming, new situations are being brought, now I understand. Okay, all right. So it is nothing unusual for an authority, even as good as King Prithu, in changing these decisions. He accepts this, reanalyzes, changes his decision. He is an administrator. A king is an administrator. That means management. He changes decisions based on the input. So both the authority also should be ready to hear, all with good intentions, not challenging. Challenging goes into another sphere. You go out of the system when you challenge. When you seek understanding from your authority. And when the authority seeks understanding of the devotee, then there is continuous improvement is there, correction is there, improvement is there. Because there is nothing perfect in this world. It is about better and better and improving. In our school, we have been taught, in our generation, things are either right or wrong. So most of the time we say, oh, this is right, this is wrong. That is not true. There are many rights and many wrongs. This training is not there. You shouldn't fall into the wrong. But it's not that there is one right. Everything else is wrong. There are many rights. So we always have to be free from this perfection syndrome of perfecting my decisions. A person who wants to perfect his decisions will never make decisions. Nothing will move. Because he is always afraid about, mistake. Because he himself is thinking there is only one right decision in every situation, everything else is a mistake. That is immaturity. There is nothing like that. Every situation I have got 100 rights, thousands of rights. We shouldn't, that means, you see, something will be better. Everything is relative in this material world. So that was another good lesson that we are learning from this Prithu Maharaj chasing the mother cow. and Mother Crow protesting, and Prithu Maharaj listening to her, understanding, changing her decisions. Next verse is about the cow-shaped earth continued. My dear king, I am just like a strong boat and all the paraphernalia of the world is standing upon me. If you break me to pieces, how you can protect yourself from your subjects from drowning? Now a modern person who has, for whom science is religion, science is God. Modern science is God. He will say, what is this? I thought this whole Krishna consciousness is about a scientific understanding, scientific teachings about the soul. What is this cow-shaped earth? What is this? You are in which world you are, I say? What is this Garbhoka ocean? What the earth being broken into pieces? I am just like a strong boat. All the paraphernalia is standing upon me. If you break me to pieces, how can you protect yourself and your subjects from drowning? Obviously, ये ऐसा कुछ कथा है, क्या है? ये तो सत्य नहीं है, कुछ स्टोरी है. Earth falling into the Garbhodaksha, in the Garbha ocean. And Prabhupada is describing, beneath the entire planetary system is a Garbha water. वो किधर से आया ये? हमको समझता ही नहीं. हमारा जियोग्राफी, हमारा कॉस्मोलॉजी, in our understanding of this world, we are clueless. Clueless means एक tip भी नहीं मिलता है. Even a tip of understanding. I'll read the entire thing. Beneath the entire planetary system is the Garbha water. देखा है क्या? Where is that Garbha water? We'll answer that. Lord Vishnu lies on the Garbha water, and from his abdomen a lotus stem grows. If you tell me Big Bang theory, I can understand. A person is lying, from his abdomen one stem is coming. What is all this? Does it have anything to do with science? Anything to do with reality? All the planets within the universe are floating in the air. Being supported by this lotus stem. उधर lotus कैसे आ गया? Lotus stem, a flower. You're talking about the entire universe and planets and everything. Yeah, one flower, lotus flower. If a planet is destroyed, it must fall into the water of Garbha. The earth therefore warned King Prithu that he could gain nothing by destroying her. Indeed, how would he protect himself and his citizens from drowning in the Garbha water? In other words, the outer space may be compared to an ocean of air, and each and every planet is floating on it, just as a boat or the island floats on the ocean. Sometimes planets are called Dvipa or islands, and sometimes they are called boats. Thus, the cosmic manifestation is partially explained in reference to the cow-shaped earth. So, many verses in Srimad Bhagavatam, many leelas in Srimad Bhagavatam, many stories. These subjects are, these kind of, structure of the universe, structure of the planets, how the planets are staying in their orbits, all these things are discussed. And 14 planetary systems are talked about. 14 planetary systems. You take your telescope and look anywhere You cannot connect the 14th planetary system to any of the things that you see in the sky. So one would tend to think that there are stories where you are hearing Mahavishnu lying on the Garbhodaka ocean, and then the lotus stem, and then all the planets are fixed around the stem, and Brahma is sitting on the top. But actually the Shastras are revealing the truth. The truth is not what we think limitedly. We try to explain everything within our tiny information that our tiny senses, imperfect senses can collect in this world. We cannot say that these things are true, exactly true, in a dimension which is in a material dimension, which is different from the dimension in which we are there. Even materially speaking, maybe before 1900s, where the whole world of science taught that we can explain everything in this existence with the laws of Newton. And they were very, very confident, very, very close. They thought, we have understood everything. But after the discovery or the theory of the perception or the understanding of light and understanding of microcosm, Newton's theory could clearly explain why the orbit is at this distance of this planet, why that planet, all the orbits, it could explain, give formula, gravity, everything. He could do it, and man was really, it was shocking that you can do all these things. But when the scientists went deeper inside, that's called microcosm. Macrocosm is the big world. Microcosm is, let's go inside the atom. What is inside the atom? Oh, this is proton, neutron, electrons. Go deeper inside. Then like that, more particles, more like that. They went deeper. So they are also electrons, protons, they are all also particles. There they suddenly discovered that Newton's laws do not work. They do not work. And then quantum mechanics came. Old mechanics was called classical mechanics. Newtonian mechanics. So naturally they also thought, okay, there is electron, proton, neutron, ये भी particle है. So the small quantity of velocity, small quantity, they applied this formula, Newton's, it's not working. In other words, not going into the details, a new field of quantum mechanics was required to understand that completely different from the classical mechanics. Completely different. Even today, they have not connected the classical mechanics to quantum mechanics. Not that it slowly it flows from macro picture to micro picture. Now quantum mechanics understood, classical mechanics understood. Suddenly there is a breakage. New laws are there. New forces are there, which is not known in the macrocosm. So everything, the whole perspective of truth changed between 1900 and 1950s. The way the scientists saw the universe itself. In fact, there is a theory called multiverse. Theory, no, it's not. It is actually coming out of the equations. That there are many, many universes. So we know very little. And very little that explains very little. Two kartals, how they produce a sound. Okay, you can understand. You can understand about it. Limited understanding, limited observation, force with which it is banged, and how the air molecules move, and then how the sound is produced, and all these things you can explain. Of course, we cannot explain how the person experiences sound. What is sound? They cannot. That comes another area about consciousness, about perception, sense of hearing, touching, smelling, sound. What are all these things? That science has no explanation. Science has only explanation that how do this, sound is produced. What is that sound? Why you are able to experience this sound? Why you are able to experience a sight? Oh, they will explain. Light falls on it, then there is a retina. In the retina, it is sensitive. When sensitivity goes, you become blind. When sensitive, then you are sensitive, it transmits that. Then finally the electrical signal, light is converted into signals. Signals are converted finally into the brain. It goes into the brain. They're stuck there. Then finally from that signal, how does it become form for the seer? No idea. Signal is not equal to form. The form I am seeing, it goes on to my eyes, form is gone, only signals are there. It goes to the brain, form is not there, signals are there. Signals that represent the form is there. How again we see the form, how we see the form, the soul sees the form. So, even this whole functioning of this wonderful yantra created by God, we cannot figure out. So at least after 1950s, the science has understood that we have not understood anything. Before that, there was a lot of pride. Before 1900, we have captured the world. I mean, if I can predict how the planets are moving, and because they are all very divinely seen. Oh, we cannot understand. Suddenly, exact your prediction, seasons, everything predicted, observed, and it is found, theory, experiment, all these things. So that was one journey from 1800s to 1700, roughly about 150 years. Things are moving in such a way that man was feeling that we understood the world. Then the next 50 years, all their theories collapsed. They understood that they don't understand. It's very complicated. So they have all these theories, multiverse, multi-universes are there, this thing. But some of the discoveries between 1900 and 1950s are very startling, very startling. Relativity of time. Time as a truth. Means time as a, just like X, Y, Z. There is a length, breadth, height. 3 dimensions are there in space. Okay, I can understand space is real, 3 dimensions are there. Time is another dimension, like that, on par with it. That means it is an ontological reality. Till then, what they were thinking, time is a way of explaining the motion. Time is a way of, time has to be brought in as a mental construct to explain motion. But suddenly it was discovered that time itself is a reality. That was very shocking to the scientist. And that it was necessary to, it has to be, time has to come as a dimension in order to understand the movement of things at the speed of light as it goes closer to lights. They found the equivalence of X, Y, Z and time, equivalence. So anyone who understands what progress science has made between 1900 and 1950s, all that we see here, whether this light or electricity or fan or this or that and microphone and mobile and everything has come from these 2 discoveries. Theory of relativity and quantum mechanics. All these applications have come out of those 2 things. These are applications. But then the understanding of the universe, that changed. If anybody, like 1900s, if somebody talks, no, we are science, we are very close, we understood. No scientist will agree today. Today, no scientist will agree. They may be atheists, but they'll say it's very complicated. We cannot figure out what is this. So when that is the case, how can you challenge all these things? So for us, these are in another dimension. 14 planetary systems are in another dimension. Krishna himself says, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtinaha. The Supreme Lord is so unlimited. So his presence as the unlimited tattva is there in unmanifested everywhere. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtinaha. What our senses show, what our planets show, what in the night the telescope shows, millions of stars, all these things. This is not the scope of existence as per Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord's opulence, 1/4 of his opulence is in the material world. The number of universes described in Bhagavatam like a bag of mustard seeds. One mustard seed is one universe. Like that Vaikuntha, 3/4 of Lord's opulence. We are not, we as tiny living entities can never conceive either Lord or his creation. We can only love him. That is possible. We cannot grasp him. We cannot understand him fully. We can only understand. He is a person who is not understandable. That is Krishna consciousness. He is a person who is not understandable completely. We can understand little, here. That is good enough. Go on glorify, seeing his glories here little, here little. His glories in the material world, his glorious activities. So, there is, apart from material energy, all these things, planets and all these things, then there are Jivatmas who are tiny persons like us. Then there is another kind of a person whom we do not know at all. We do not see walking among us. That is called Vishnu Tattva. The absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has integrated forms. That means he has got unlimited forms of Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. And he has got separated forms like us, Jivas. All these are given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Internal energy of the Lord, external energy of the Lord. So real cosmology is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. But it is too far advanced. Therefore, something, very advanced. You cannot understand ABC of it. So you cannot understand even ABC of our Vedic cosmology that is described in this. Very easily it is being talked about in every Purana, as if it is a substance that is there no need to prove. Gone from higher planetary systems, for upper planet, lower planet, Swargaloka, Narakloka, all those. So 14 planetary systems are talked about, just like we talk about Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, and we don't doubt, Bangalore hai kya? From Bangalore में बैठ के बोलते हैं दिल्ली जाना है, हाँ तो दिल्ली है. So like that in the Puranas, गया है, ब्रह्मलोक गया है, ये गया है, उधर गया है, स्वर्गलोक गया है, इंद्रा बैठा है, ये बैठा है, ऐसा साधारण टॉक हो गया. हमको ग्रीक एंड लैटिन है. For us it's Greek and Latin. We cannot understand what it is. Why? Because it's another dimension. Please understand that today's science supports this perception that it is very much possible, all these things. Before 1900s, scientists would say, totally nonsense, all these things. What are you talking? Totally nonsense. But now if they have to say, they cannot make that statement. They cannot make that statement. It is possible. And we know, we do not go by that science. We go by the descending process of knowledge. We know that our rishis can see multi-dimensions through their jnana chakshu, not this eyes, and they have described all these things. These are all material dimensions, not spiritual dimensions. Spiritual world you live, that is different. So sometimes, is the spiritual world very far away or very near? Goloka Vrindavan is very far or near? The answer is both. Far away, yes, it is far, far away. Something very, very far away, how can it be simultaneously very close? Far away means space, distance, isn't it? How can it be close? Because distance is something that our senses perceive, isn't it? So, for instance, now, if I sit here, I will tell, All of you are in this hall. Why? Because my senses can reach this hall. So you are all here. People walking by the road, I won't say they are here. Why? Because my senses cannot reach there. Krishna's senses are unlimited. In a second, moment Radha Krishna Chandra, he comes, his whole spiritual world also comes. So, in the altar there is Goloka Vrindavan. You cannot separate the Lord from his Dham. These are all the tattvas that are taught in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now we understand how it is all these things are very much possible. But this all depends on bhakti. Personal element, personal aspect should be brought into picture, then you can understand all this. For Krishna's rasa, just like for Krishna's rasa, he becomes the deity. He becomes the deity. Because for him, everything, there's only one tattva, Vasudevam Sarvamati Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Eko Bahusham. Avam eva sam evagre. These are all the statements which says that one absolute truth beyond all dimensions of time, space and substance. That is Krishna. And for his pleasure, if devotees have love, they want to offer service to him, he is right there. In the altar, in the deity. Even though the deity for the material eyes looks like any other statue, but he is there. Similarly, if our consciousness develops further about Krishna, the Dham cannot be separated. His Dham is also there. Like Prabhupada says, a pure devotee, just like a television, he sees the pastimes of the Lord like seeing television. So, these things one has to, today's scientific discovery simply support the possibility, from their language, possibility of all these things as truth. But we know, we don't go by that. We say that yes, this is, because this is truth, because it is coming from realized souls. For instance, here, you bring a radio. One frequency you choose, suddenly that station you get. Another frequency you choose, another station is there. Once that frequency is come to Doordarshan frequency, immediately, what is that station is manifested. It's manifested. It is unmanifested, it is there. That means here all radio stations are available everywhere, at every point. Only you have to tune. And then you get the station. Manifestation, from unmanifest to manifest. To manifest, you have to tune. If you tune with bhakti, you can see the manifestation of Satchidananda Krishna. You can see the manifestation of Satchidananda Dhama. Everything can be seen. So isn't it shocking? Even that way. Even this fact is also shocking. Right where I am, all radio stations are available. Let it be Voice of America. It is available. You have to tune it, hear it. So when this can be true, how can, when Prabhupada says that where his temple is there, where the deities are there, it is the spiritual world. It's a question of seeing. It's a question of realizing it. Question of experiencing it, not necessarily with our material senses, with our awakened spiritual senses. Holy name, descending from the spiritual world. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. So foolish to give any material interpretation to this sound. This sound is Krishna, and Krishna is ununderstandable. He is beyond time, space, limitation and substance. He is beyond substance because he is all substance. He is beyond time and space because he is all time, all space. The Supreme Lord. So this Hare Krishna Mahamana, Golokera Premadana, Harinama, Sankirtana, these are all factual statements that the transcendental sounds descends into the sound that you produce. Not an ordinary sound. So simply all these things are pushed to the realm of religion. But Prabhupada's presents Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, everything, not as simply religion. It is about the reality, about the truth. 14 planetary systems is truth. It is there. Earth is just one of them. Where are these, the planetary systems above the earth and below the earth? You need to leave this body, and then you have to be taken there, Daivanetrena, and then you will be born in heavenly planets or wherever required. Take for instance a dream. Who has understood what is dream? If somebody say, here's what Prabhupada says, when you dream, the soul goes out of the body, Prabhupada says, into another world. And the connection is maintained also from the Nabhi. When you wake up, you enter back into this body. So in the dream itself, you go and what do scientists say? Something, brain is doing something. And it's some experience in the brain. But you go, you see, in a dream, you go into a world. There are a world of people, there's a world of the relationship, there is this, that, story in the dream, everything, and you're an actor just like this world. It is not a fabrication of brain. At the most, brain would be the switchover to take you from here to the subtle world. This is a subtle world. So at the time of doing, it's like as I said, radio frequency, no? You have to change your frequency. So you are about to sleep, you change your frequency, you are gone out of this gross world. Then you dream. Brain is only doing that. Everything you cannot explain. Just like they explain what is soul, what is thinking, feeling, willing, a combination of chemicals. That's all. They want to explain everything within this body, all your experiences. Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.